Hi children, back to our SS class. We all know that we all are so happy and also so interested in different type of games, either in one or in the another. Every one of you are so aware about these rules and regulations or the conditions to be a participant of particular games, and we are so fond of participating in different games of either in school level or in clubs or in any other areas according to our taste. Is it? So, here we are going to study one particular chapter from political science. We are again back to our political science class. We have studied one lesson from political science just like in the form of a government. That is a democratic government, its qualities, its features, and those who are supporting and opposing a democratic government and every of its features that we have studied once in the last class. We are going to study one another topic here, that is about not only about the games that we are talking here, as every games have particular rules and regulation in order to modify, in order to control, in order to regulate the activities of participants and also to get a proper idea about games and also to make everything under control. Some rules and regulations will be there, and every participant must know that rules and regulations, or else every other participants will be having his own taste, his own ideas, his own views, his own attitude, etc. towards that game, and sometimes it may be out of the control of that coach or the federation who are going to present or to arrange all this. So some rules are compulsory for everything. Is it for sports or for arts or for any, or even for the different types of our school programs or in class activities also, we have some rules and regulation. Without rules and regulation, if it is difficult to manage even a class or a simple program that we are conducting in our classroom or a school program or any other programs in club, etc., what may be the condition of a country without such rules and regulations for its citizens to follow? Is there any such rules and regulation for a country? If not, what will happen? That is etc. I want to discuss here. That is, such rules and regulations of a nation to be followed by every of its citizens are called constitution. Constitution is very important for a nation. Why do we need a constitution? If not, what happens? Simply we can compare that whatever problems may be possible in a game without rules and regulation may be possible to happen in a country also. So, today we are going to discuss about the need, the features, the hard work and the necessities of a constitution for a country. And our country, that is India, has the biggest written constitution in the world. That is another important fact that we need to realize. Children, let us discuss the importance of our country India. That is, we know that our nation is specialized with a term called unity in diversity. That means diversity is the most important figure or feature of our country. Religiously, language, political activities, cultural practices, ethnic groups, social condition, social groups, political parties, wherever we are going to discuss or whatever things we are going to discuss, everything is diverse from one group to another. So, here religious differences are there, even in a religious group itself, number of sections are there and different political parties are there, lots of language varieties are there, cultural practices are there, or everything is different in India from corners to corners. So, our country is the most important country in the world where something that is a written constitution is compulsory. We know one important fact that if there is no any such a common rule for every Indian citizen to practice, everyone will be the masters. Nobody will be there as the person to obey anything. If all are rulers or all are masters, what will happen? That also we cannot imagine what will be the condition of our country. So during the period of our national freedom fighters, when they started to fight against a common enemy, that is outsiders or foreigners, it was not a fight against Britishers or outsiders alone, but it was another kind of a situation where they are forming a kind of unity in all the different sections of people. Because without having now any unity among different sections of Indians, it is identified, or it is already understood that lots of problems may be there in future whenever Britishers or outsiders left. So, in order to keep a unity among all group of people, in order to follow a common rule, and in order to make everything under proper management, our national freedom fighters decided to frame something for our nation in the name of a constitution. So, our constitution is special that every different sections of society, members from every different social sections or religious group or language group, etc., participated in that constitutional framework, where every different attitudes or their cultural practices or their views or points, etc., added to make our constitution the perfect one. So, a constitution is compulsory for our country. We can identify one speciality that almost every countries of the world will be having a constitution. Maybe written or unwritten. But all countries having a constitution may be not democratic. But countries with democratic principles may be having a constitution. So, every country in this world, that is a democratic country in this world, will be having a constitution. But all countries having a constitution may not be democratic also. Drafting a constitution is not an easy work, because as we told that it need to contain every of the hopes, interests, rights, etc. of different sections of a society. Nobody should be dissatisfied. Everyone must be happy to support and protect the constitution and must be accepted the rules also. So, creating such a unity, such an aspiration towards our country through this constitution is not an easy work. That's why years of hard work by our constitution frameworkers have done to make it one of the wonderful work in this world. We need to study 4 important duties or functions of our constitution. That is, one of the most important function that our constitution need to practice is that need to specify what kind of a country it will be. That means how a country constitute, what kind of a government will be there, is it democratic or non-democratic, etc. And also need to tell what are the important rights that a citizen of that country can enjoy. Okay. Second one is that it limits the powers of the government on its people and also decide who can take what kind of decisions. That is, powers or the extra authority or extra important powers of government will be fixed or it will be limited or it will be specified. Third one is, it creates a kind of unity and coordination within a nation among all different sections of people in order to make their life so comfortable. And the fourth one is that it tries to express the aspirations of people about how a nation could be more creative. So, including all these points or all these important facts or all the important ideas of a nation, how it could be, a constitution must be prepared. Almost every countries of the world have their own constitution, and here we know that after American Revolution against Britishers, America has a constitution, and after French Revolution, French people or French government also created a constitution for their own. That means in order to make everything under common or correct supervision, some rules are commonly to be prepared for a nation. It must be accepted by the majority people also. So, a constitution is a kind of or a set of rules to be accepted by its citizen and must be followed by the people. And constitution is the supreme law of a nation. Every of the rules, regulations, etc. must be based on the constitutional provisions. It must be guaranteed all the freedoms, rights and privileges to its citizen also. So preparing a constitution is not an easy work. It is hard to face different types of hard work and also lots of years of earnest attempt also needed to make a constitution to be accepted by majority of its citizens. Drafting of Indian Constitution was not an immediate incident. It had its past history itself during the course of our national freedom movement. That is, in 1928, under the leadership of Motilal Nehru and 8 other important Congress leaders, they drafted a constitution. So it was the beginning of the drafting of constitution there. And in 1931, when the Indian National Congress session happened at Karachi, there also had some ideas about how our nation could be after independence. So both these ideas, that is the ideas put forward by Karachi session of Indian National Congress and the constitution prepared by Motilal Nehru together combined some important facts or some important rights that our constitution need to practice. That is, both these ideas included the important ideas just like adult franchise, then right to equality and freedom. These two important ideas were most special, that is, these two things added to our constitution later when it was started under our national constitutional framework under Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So, constitutional works were already started before getting freedom for India. So, when we got freedom or before getting freedom itself, our ideas or we had prepared an idea about how could be our constitution, what are important values or points need to be included there. And these incidents or the events that happens around the world during those time also influenced our Indian constitution. That is, French Revolution and its important three important terms we know that equality, freedom and liberty etc. were one important thing that added to our constitution. Then the Bill of Rights or freedom of citizen from USA also was taken here. Just like many important ideas of our constitution came from outside, not fully adopted to our country. That ideas were came or adopted into our Indian context. Need to give an idea or need to frame it suitable to our Indian culture. So that is why this also says that ideas from our ideas point areas just like our Russia, USA or France or Ireland or Australia or Germany or from across world, wherever new changes happened during those time came as an influencing factor for the framework or for drawing our constitution also. So years of hard work, years of studies, years of concentration on other activities happening around the world etc. contributed to make our constitution one of the perfect one in the world. Not fully adopted to our Indian context but made changes suitable to our India situation, but ideas were from many from outside. So constitutional framework was not an easy procedure there also. All these years of hard work, studies from outside, then thorough learning about what happens around the world across also happened or also started to make our constitution perfect one. Under British rule, we Indian government or Indian people had many experiences. Many of them were not fully democratic, but we studied some of the points or some of the facts or some of the incidents or their techniques how to make our nation pure democratic. That means they conducted election, but it was not on adult franchise. Many people from the either for the princely states or for the educated people alone, they had given that voting right. So idea of voting was one important point that we got from the British period. And they conducted number of or they have prepared a legislative assembly where also representatives were there but not from all caste or from all section. So, conducting election, making representative, etc. were the most important points or the ideas that we got from the British period. And many of the important points or clauses from the British rule made in 1935, Government of India Act of 1935, also influenced our Indian Constitution. So, Britishers, even though their activities were not fully democratic, some of the ideas we got from their role, as they have conducted elections here, then legislative assemblies, etc. But anyhow, in order to make our nation a proper one, during the period of 1946 itself, having all the ideas from inside and outside of our country, our government decided, or our national leaders under Indian National Congress decided to have an election or to make a set or an assembly or a group of people ready for preparing or drafting a constitution. So in 1946, an election was made to get some representatives to the constitutional framework activities. And in 1946 itself, in December, the first meeting of that constituent assembly was conducted, where 299 members were there. And you have to remember one thing, that it was a period where India and Pakistan were joined together. It was not partitioned. So, 299 members were there to prepare a constitution for India. And these 299 members were from all sections of India. Even though it was not on the base of any adult franchise to get the members, it was from constituencies, the provisional government that already existed in India in a different part, where a legislative assembly was there in almost everywhere, and a number of members from different communities also included. So, even though without having any such a general election, 299 members from every language, religion, caste, community, etc. were gathered together in the form of a constituent assembly in 1946 December itself. From there onwards, they started to sit together, discuss together, and also to debate against or about the different activities or about important provisions or important sentences or the ideas that they were writing about a constitution. And under Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, a drafting committee was prepared. And it was the whole responsibility to draft a constitution out of all the discussions, explanations, descriptions happened early was under Dr. Ambedkar. And almost 3 continuous years were taken from 1946 to 1949. 2 years, 11 months and 17 days of time was taken to complete the whole effort of the work drafting committee members and other constitutional members to make our constitution proper. So in 1949, our constitution was accepted by Constitutional Assembly. Before that itself, around within these 3 years, not all that 3 years continuously they talk about the constitution alone. Around 114 days they spent together to discuss, to debate, to explain, and also to amend whatever modifications needed in that constitution. So, such a earnest effort from all sections, religious, language, cultural, caste, ethnic, and every other sections of Indian group of people joined together, expressed their views and debated on. Some of them accepted, some others rejected, or all such activities made together to get a constitution proper. So, in 1949, Constitutional Assembly was accepted constitution. And in the next year, in 1950, January 26, our government of India also recognized our constitution. That's why we are celebrating that day as our Republic Day. So, constitutional framework is not an easy work. 3 years of continuous hard work of extreme genius person from all nook and corners and all walk of life inside India, getting ideas from outside the world made our constitution proper. That's why still, even after all these continuous years of length and experience, still we are following our constitution without having any more serious modifications inside. Simple changes may be there according to social situations or economic conditions changes, but a thorough change that didn't happen even still now in case of our constitution. Many countries of the world are writing and rewriting their constitution as it was not proper or not suitable to their social or economic conditions or cultural practices of their nation. But as our frameworkers of constitution were really great, talented caliber, and for you can say having their ideas about future of India together, without having no any more modification, still we are proud to follow our constitution. So, constitution is compulsory for every country, either written or unwritten. If it is written, we can make changes. If it is unwritten, deliberately people will follow the same without having any compulsion from any other side. So, we discussed about the basic ideas about our constitution alone today. We have some more ideas about the constitution and its leaders and their hard work, etc. to be discussed, that we will do in the next class. So, today we can wind up now. Thank you. Have a nice day.